Can I get a quick sound check here before we get started? I know we've got some people logging on, so type a Y into the chat box if you can hear me okay. Alright, looks like we're good to go. How's everyone doing out there? Yeah, let me hear. I can turn it up just a little bit. Should you be able to hear me a little bit better now? Perfect. All right, where's everyone at here? Just giving it a second. We got some people logging in. Take a minute to read over the risk warning real quick. Yeah. All right, we've got Australia, South Africa, quite a few here in the States. Yeah, I'm over on the West Coast as well. Yep, it is. Florida, yeah. Yeah, our main office, headquarters is in Miami. All right, looks like we've got people from all over the place signed in here today. And today's webinar is going to be awesome. It's purely about one of our strategies, our most simple strategy. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, this is, to reiterate, this is one of our introduction strategies. This is where all of our traders start out when they start using our software or come through one of our training programs. This is really where you learn the basic foundation of how we trade, what we do, and able to create consistent results. From there, you can get into more advanced strategies. Again, we offer multiple strategies for every different type of market condition, so you can make money in a volatile market, a slow market, a sideways market, or a trending market. We have different strategies that we apply to different market conditions. So we're going to cover one of those in very great detail today. Now, so far this year in 2016, we're looking at the first half of the year. This strategy alone has generated 3,453 pips. It's a very consistent strategy. You'll see down at the bottom. If you're trading one standard lot, that equates to about $34,000. Again, if you're not trading a standard lot, it could be less than that. Or if you're trading two lots, that would be $68,000 and some odd cents. So the volume of your trading really depends on the amount of money you're going to make. What we're focused on here is the ability to grab an average of 23 pips per day within 1 to 2 hours of trading. And that's exactly what we do. And I will show you exactly the steps that are involved in order to do this using our software and one of our strategies that has become very popular with all of our traders that are on the platform. And so after today's webinar, you will understand the strategy A to Z and be able to implement it into your trading. So again, a little bit more about us. The FXPM software is a complete Forex system and business solution. It's not just a software, although FXPM, that's what it's called. That's what a lot of our focus has been. But we also have a lot more going on than just the software development. We have world-class coaches and trainers. Some have traded at large banks like Citibank. I've done several webinars with him. He's actually one of our moderators in the room. So we have the staff of trainers, we have programmers, we have a whole technical support team, everyone to make sure that you're successful trading with our platform and with our strategies, some of which you're going to learn today. We have multiple trading firms around the world. We have offices that are fully equipped with our software platform and strategies. Some of them are affiliated with us, and then some of them are doing their own thing, managing funds, stuff like that. So we really service the entire industry, from the average retail trader that's tuning in from home today, like I'm sure a lot of you guys are, to big firms who are managing money and need a more customized solution for their trade floor. Essentially, we provide a very simple, structured approach to trading the Forex market, and the focus is to show you how to generate a consistent income trading Forex just a couple hours a day. Again, a lot of us get into this not only to make money, whether it be an extra side income or whatnot, but we don't get into this to spend our entire day in front of the computer. And so we're going to show you how to do all this, do this consistently, and spend very minimal amount of time in front of the computer. A little bit about me. My name's Matt Miller. I've been trading Forex since 2008. Bounced around between a lot of different systems. Ended up getting involved with a lot of different just garbage out there, robots, stuff like that. So I've been through all of that, spent money on useless software applications, things like that, kind of trying to take shortcuts. I started trading full-time in 2009 when I joined Forex Successful Traders and FXPM. Back then they were kind of just getting going. And I got involved with the company, bought into the system, bought the training, all that, as well as some extra stuff as well. Since I was located in Miami at the time, I did pay for some extra personal coaching as well. And that was about a 1-year process to go from starting the training. At about 6 months into the program, I was able to cut down to part-time hours at my job and slowly work into where I then was able to get some funds to manage and build a substantial enough income to where within 1 year, it was right at about a year, I was able to quit my full-time job and rely on trading as an income. So again, this is not a get-rich-quick or get-rich-overnight solution like so many people try to make you believe Forex is. It is something you're going to have to put some time and effort into, and more than anything, it's not the amount of hours, but just the dedication to doing this 1 to 2 hours a day on a daily basis. When I'm not trading, I love being outdoors, a lot of things to get the adrenaline going, mountain biking, whitewater, kayaking, rock climbing, flying, all that stuff. Super into that, and I love trading because it gives me the ability to spend a lot of my weekdays doing that stuff instead of just having it confined to the weekends like a normal 9-to-5 job. So enough about me, enough about the company. Let's go ahead and start getting into what you're going to learn today, kind of what we do, and get you going on your path to becoming consistent trading Forex. Now, there's really 3 main things that every one of our traders that has came in, they go through, and it's kind of like a 3-legged bar stool. Without one leg, the thing's going to tip over. It's not going to work. So we focus out on professional training and mentorship, someone who's been a market maker, someone who's managed funds, someone who has been in this industry at a very professional level to where you know the information that you're receiving is quality and proven. The other part of that is professional software. What I mean by that, a lot of broker platforms out there like MT4 and stuff like that, that's really there to serve the broker. It makes the broker a lot of money, and that's why it's free to you guys. What you don't understand is that you're getting nickel and dimed on the back end, and you're paying substantially more by using that platform as opposed to a professional platform that is complete STP and all that stuff. We'll get into that later and explain some of the technical terminology behind it. And then the whole business structure and planning. Now, a lot of that, people talk about a journal and stuff like that, which is good. You're on the right track, but you really want to have something that's going to track your results in terms of the strategy that you're applying to get that result. So if you just open your trade results and look at your win-loss ratio and all that stuff, it's cool to see all the statistics, but it's not going to help you. What our business plan does that we integrate into your trading program, it tracks every single strategy, every trade that you take, and it'll show you your win-loss ratio for individual strategies on individual currency pairs, so then you can start to optimize your business and focus on what's really making you money. All right, so this is just kind of the main gist of what we do here and how we're able to take someone, whether they're brand new or whether they've been struggling for a couple of years, we're able to take that trader, reset everything they know. We focus on these 3 pillars right here and get you to where you're making consistent money in really just a couple of months after you've went through some of the training. Now, many of the strategies and training methods that we use and teach have been used in major banks like Citibank, Bank of Santander, and Sabadell United Bank. I'm going to introduce one of our moderators in the room who has been the chief dealer and market maker at all three of these banks that you see here, as well as some other smaller banks as well. So the information, what you're being taught here, what you're learning here has been used at the highest level of the market. And really what we do is we bring that information to the retail trader and help you trade like some of the bigger banks do. So here's the top 3 challenges for all traders. If you're not making consistent money, one of these is your problem, I can guarantee it. And for most people, it's a subjective trading strategy. If you're trading with MACD and chart patterns and looking at divergence and things like that, the problem with all of that stuff is that for most traders, what they're looking at is very subjective. That means every trade pattern you're looking at, every chart pattern, the way the indicators cross, all that stuff, it means that it differs every single time you're taking a trade. You have no standard process that you apply to taking a trade, much like a machine. That's what it means to have a subjective strategy. Almost every single trader that we bring in, that is their major problem. They're really not 100% sure of what they're looking for in a trade. They may be looking at like double bottoms or trading support and resistance levels and stuff like that, which is good. I mean, you're on the right track, and that's going to help you get a feel for the market structure and all that. But you really need to have something that is very cut and dry, very rules-based, so you know when you need to enter the trade. Now, the other major problem is poor risk management, not having a good concept of trading with good risk to reward. We're going to show you exactly how we do it and how we use something called a progressive stop loss management to mitigate, reduce, and eliminate risk in every trade. That's always our primary focus. And then one of the toughest things about learning how to trade on your own, by yourself at your house, is you have no support system, no one to talk to about trading on a regular basis or a team to trade with. When I was trading on our trade floor in Miami, I'm pretty much remote now. I kind of travel around and trade from different areas. Right now I'm over on the West Coast. And so being with a group of guys in a trade room, having someone to talk to and chat back and forth with during the market is a huge part of my success nowadays, because I'm tuned in and I'm in touch with the market. When you're by yourself trying to do things on your own, it's very easy for you to, one, get discouraged or get distracted, switch strategies. You're not held accountable to anything. And that's a big part of staying consistent in this business. So here's what we're going to look at today. We're going to look at one of our most simple rule-based strategies, our 5-minute trading strategy. We're going to talk about tight stop losses. Most of our stops start between 10 to 7 pips that you're going to risk, and then you're going to look to make double or more than that. And then we're going to show you how we go about the coaching process to really help you tune into the market, stay focused, and follow traders that are, have traded at the highest level of the industry as well. So again, here's what we're going to be covering. We're going to be covering the dynamic Fibonacci scalping strategy. We're going to look at trade entry rules, position management, and where and how to exit the trade. Now, dynamic Fibonacci was developed by a gentleman named Andy. He was the Citibank London chief dealer, and he has always said dynamic Fibonacci is essentially like a GPS for the market. It shows you support and resistance levels to where you can make very easy, simplified decisions on where to enter and where to exit the market. And we're going to show you exactly how we do that on these next few slides. So again, I'm going to go ahead and bring my cursor over here. Can everyone see the different shades of red and green here? Yeah, you should see kind of this lighter level here, then a darker shade here, and the darkest shade up here, and then the same for the bottom. This first green shade here, there's kind of a shade here as well, shade here and a shade here. Does everyone see that? Okay, good, good. So very simple terms here. Your red levels are your sell zones. When you see the price go up and hit one of these red zones, it should bounce down and give you a probable outcome on a trade. Okay, this is a very basic concept that you need to understand, and as we start moving forward and building on it, I think does everyone understand that concept? If the price is coming down to hit the green zones, we are looking to buy and anticipate that it's going to go back up, and vice versa on sell. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, all right, we're good there. Something else, the deeper the zone, so if it's hitting, this one was a good bounce off of that, but if it comes up and hits this one, it's going to be an even better trade. Same with the green, the further down we go, the better the bounces should typically be. We're all good with that, right? Okay, great. So now in terms of what these are called, you've got an S1, sell zone 1, S2, sell zone 2, sell zone 3, B1, B2, B3. Again, that's buy zone 1, buy zone 2, buy zone 3. Okay, that's more of technical terminology with our system. But if I'm referring to that throughout the presentation, it was important that you know that, okay? So we're all good with that, correct? Okay, let's talk about the trade entries. So when the price is going up and hitting these zones, when it first touches these zones is where you're going to want to enter the trade, and you trade directly off of this level. So again, you see this wick was touching this zone right here. That doesn't mean we enter, we're not waiting for a confirmation candlestick or any of that stuff. A lot of people and a lot of traders use those confirmation candles, quote unquote, really as a false sense of security, because in life and general human nature is to always want confirmation, before you make a decision or a choice. And in trading, you can't always do that, and you have to find your levels, know your support and resistance levels that you want, and be willing to step out in front of it, place your trades when that level's hit, and stand by your strategy. And that's what we do, and that's what we teach. And so you're going to, this is where you're entering right here in the candlestick before it even closes. And by this time you're already up several points. You're looking to take profit, where people who are waiting for confirmation, their entries are down here, and they don't have as good of fills. They had more risk in the market, all that stuff. So does that make sense, how we enter the trade? Where it's commonly referred to as trading into the candle. I mean, you don't need to know that right now, but for those of you that are a little bit more experienced, that's the style of entry we use. Perfect, okay. Okay, so let's talk about the position management part of this strategy. And this is really where the money is made, because this strategy alone, it has a good risk to reward, or it has a good win-loss ratio, but the risk to reward is what really makes this strategy profitable. So when we enter a trade, like when this price was running up here, hit this level, we automatically enter our position, and it'll automatically have an 8 pip stop loss and a 19 pip take profit. Okay, so when we've entered the trade, worst case scenario, we're going to lose 8, and then best case scenario, we're going to make 19 points. Is that clear for everyone? Okay. Okay, good. Now, what we want to do once we're in the trade, because a lot of times what can happen is you'll see these trades bounce off of this, and they'll come play around in this area, but then they could head back up. So what we do to mitigate and reduce and eliminate risk, and the main reason for this, again, is managing our emotions. The less risk we have in this, the more focused we can be and clear-minded we can be. So as the trade starts working in our favor, we will start reducing our stops. So when we're up 3 to 5 pips in profit, floating P&L, we move our stop loss to -5. When we're up 8 to 10 points of profit, we'll move it to 0. So at this point, we have no more risk in the trade. All we have is potential upside. And then 13 to 15 points of profit, chances are we're probably locking in profit at that point, actually putting money in the bank. And then we're going to move our stop loss to +5 to +10 so that we win no matter what on this trade. And again, it's all about base hits and consistently putting points in the bank. And that's what this strategy is the best at. So again, write this stuff down if you haven't already. That's really the kind of the formula to a lot of our trading styles and strategies. It works. Again, this progressive stop management only works with price action based strategies. And by price action, I'm not talking about chart patterns or candlestick formations or any of that stuff. I'm talking about raw price movement, how far and how fast price is moving right now in this minute, not a daily chart or anything like that, okay? This style of management does not work on set and forget types of trading. Really, a lot of stuff doesn't work on that type of trading, but especially this. So this management combined with this style of strategy is a perfect combination. So let's talk about how we exit the trade. Now on our software, I'll show you some pictures out here in just a little bit so you can understand this in context. But the software will automatically exit when you've met your profit target, and it automatically places your stop. So what you do here is you set up your stop loss and you set up your profit limit right down here. So before you ever execute a trade, it's already set to go. So as soon as you click buy or you click sell, this OCO order is going to go into the market. Then when your trade is working out, whether it's working in your favor and you're moving your stop up, all you do is you click this little arrow down here and move it up to -5 or break even, +5, however you want to do it. And then there's a little button that shows up. You click it, it says modify, and then your order is modified. It's super easy. Our patent pending management system is probably one of the simplest management systems that you will ever find on any platform for trading Forex. So these are the 5 scenarios, the 5 outcome scenarios you're going to have with this strategy. You're either going to lose 8, you're either going to lose 5, lose nothing, make 5 to 10, or make 19. So again, with this, you know what criteria your trading fits in. You're not having big wild swings in your account. You're not having a big, drawdown one day and making a ton the next day. It's very consistent and easy to replicate. That's what we focus on, and that's what all professionals do, that have been doing this 8, 10, 20 years. This is how they trade to, one, stay consistent and stay sane throughout the whole process. Okay, so here you can see this. All of this is kind of put in here a little bit easier for you to see, where you got the chart over here and you've got your buy and your sell. So again, when price is up in these red zones, you're clicking sell, you're going to see this information pop up here, or if you click buy, you're going to see all the information pop up down here. Your auto protect, if that's selected, you're all good to go, and it does everything automatically. Now, something that I mentioned a little earlier about the professional software and being set up with the correct broker. We have special institutional relationships with our software. So our software is not hooked up to some retail feed where you're going to go out and get nickel and dimed on spreads and slippage and second look and all that stuff. It is connected all straight through processing. We get the best bid and the best offer that the banks have available. For our international clients, we have some of the tightest spreads that you're ever going to find. For the U.S., you're really, with all the regulation and all that, the U.S. is a little bit tough. There's only about 4 or 5 big players here that we can connect with. We did arrange a better deal than what you would get opening a retail account, but it's not as good as our international, brokerage options that we have available. And I'll touch on that a little bit more towards the end. But just so you know, we do have, if you're opening an account with us and trading off the platform, you're going to have better execution, better spreads, better customer service than you're going to get with one of these big, shops here in the U.S. or internationally, you're going to be connected in via an institutional feed. It's again something a lot of platforms don't use is an automatic stop and limit. Again, a lot of the free platforms, you got to remember, are designed for the brokers. The brokers make money off of your trading and your trading mistakes. So they're not necessarily designed to be user friendly to you. We use this software on a daily basis. We use it to manage money. We use it to trade our personal funds. And then all of our traders, of course, that are on it use it to do the same thing. So our best interest is to help you become profitable, keep you around for as long as we can. Ideally, we want to see you make this your full-time career, be able to do this as long as you want. So we are always adding the tools and adding the technology to the platform to help us accomplish that. Now, with this strategy, there are a few different market conditions that you want to avoid to increase your win-loss ratio and stay out of trouble, essentially. And that's fighting a fresh breakout. So if we've had a really tight range, meaning that price has kind of been going sideways for quite a while, and we finally get a breakout, sometimes those breakouts can be fueled by a lot of traders jumping in, anticipating momentum is going to go that way. And sometimes they're fake and sometimes they're real. But regardless, if you don't trade against those, you eliminate a lot of those variables. Let the market make its first pullback and then start trading the strategy, okay? Another time would be low volume or very thin trading market. So if there's just no volume, the candles aren't really moving much, occasionally you'll get big spikes during that time, which can be very difficult to trade. And if you're trading, decent sized positions, it becomes a little bit more difficult to get, the really good fills and stuff like that. Although it'll be much easier on FXPM than it would be on like any of the MT4 platforms or anything like that, just because of their latency and many other issues that come along with it. And then the last one is major fundamental news. News releases like non-farm payroll, interest rates, speeches, stuff like that have a ton of variables involved. That's really the stuff you want to avoid. Now, news releases like CPI and stuff like that, where you can look at the number and look at the news release and see how much they deviate and measure all that, which is what a team of analysts, what they'll look at. That stuff you can trade the strategy as long as you're not outside of that deviation. Again, for some of you newer guys, I may be talking a little bit over what you understand at this point, and that's totally cool. We walk you through all that stuff. So don't feel like, this is going to be some big daunting task. It's actually really simple. You just got to get familiar with some of the terminology and stuff like that, all right? So again, on the first slide, I talked about the pips that we've generated with this strategy, and this is on one of our conservative accounts that I was talking about, the 3,453 pips. That's on a very conservative account where we're taking basically 2 trades a day within 1 to 2 hours. We're averaging around 23 pips per day on that account. Now, this is one of our students who is in the room all the time, and this was just a screenshot that I grabbed quite a while ago. I've got a bunch of these. He posts these sporadically in the group chat. But this is what it looks like trading the strategy. So, you got a sell position here that was plus 19. This buy position, he minus 8. It popped back in. He took a minus 8 on this one. This one was break even. This one here depends on your entry, what he's writing here. He uses the matrix, and I'll show you a little bit of that here in the next couple of slides. That pops. Finally, he gets this plus 19 here, and this large swing, a plus 19, a couple minus 8s, plus 19, plus 19, plus 5. So you can see that you're not going to win every single trade, But if you stick with the strategy, at the end of the day here, this one in one session, we're looking this is like 10 hours here. You're up at 60 points. So our figures that we talked about at the beginning, averaging 23 points a day, is on a very conservative, we're really talking about the person who wants to come in, take a couple of trades a day, and then go do something else, and not sit in front of the computer. Now we've got a couple of younger guys who love to stay in front of the computer and continue to trade. And as long as they're disciplined, they're pulling 60, 70 points a day with it. But we don't for 1 minute push this strategy as that type of thing. It's not realistic for most people. Most people don't have that type of attention span and really just need to look at this a couple hours a day. Okay? Does that make sense for everyone on here? Okay, and I see some questions coming in as well. I'm going to get to a lot of those questions at the very end of the webinar. I'll do a Q&A. So, Tom, yeah. No, I see the questions, and what we'll do is I'll get to the end, and I'll go through all that. No problem. Again, another example here of just what the strategy is going to look like from a user perspective. 65 points. You can see the plus 10, minus 5, but what you want to notice is all of your losses are very small, minus 8 at most, or minus 5, but then you've got all of these 19s in here, 19 plus 19 plus 10, that eat up 2 of those losses. So you take 2 losses and get 1 winning trade, you're back to where you started. Now you're ready to go into profit. So that's the nice thing about this strategy. You never take these big losses to where it seems almost impossible to work your way back out of. That's where so many traders blow up accounts, and I know it because I've done it. You take one big ass loss, and then you're trying to get that back, and it just takes you somewhere psychologically where you just keep making more bad trades, taking crazy risks that you would not normally take. And ultimately, you're not able to dig yourself back out of it, and you end up blowing your account. Almost every single trader I've talked to, it happens to everyone. It's happened to me in my early days, and that's what I love about this strategy is your losses are minimal. Psychologically, it's not a big deal. If I take a couple losses for the day, and I'm trading 2 or 3 lots or whatever, it's a few $100. It's like $300 or $400 where I can come back and make that back in 1 to 2 more trades. One winning trade is almost $400, $400 or $500, and you're back to break even, ready to go. So it's not like you're taking massive losses that are going to just ruin your day and ruin your psyche for days to come. You're able to keep an even keel there, okay? So again, this is kind of what it looks like here. Now, this is what I want to talk about. The 5-minute strategy. We're looking at this 5-minute chart with dynamic Fibonacci on it. What the power with the FXPM software is in this little guy over here, what is known as the matrix. Now, I'm just going to barely touch on this here. I'm not going to get into this whole explanation on the matrix because we have 30-some training modules that are going to walk you through this whole matrix and how to use it and what everything is and all that. So I'm not going to explain all that on this webinar. I'm just going to show you the basics here. But you'll notice this level right here up above the price, this sell level, is at 15, 1,418. You can see right here, this is about 1,415. If we come over here and look at down here, you've got different columns. You've got a 1 minute, a 5 minute, a 15 minute, a 1 hour, and a 4 hour. If we look at the 5-minute column, you're going to see this 15 level. Okay, that's this level right here. And now down here you see this 1388. If you look on the 5-minute, you're going to see this 88 level. And then down here at the 72, the 70, and the 54. You'll notice all these shades are at these numbers. So you're able to see this exact strategy and how you're going to trade it right here in this little one column lane that's really easy for you to see. Now the beauty is you can see this same strategy on a 1 minute time frame, a 15 minute, a 1 hour, and a 4 hour time frame. So you're seeing all of these high probability support and resistance levels, but you can then start to combine them with other time frames to give you really good, accurate trades. Just like on 07 here, you've got a 1 minute and a 15-minute time frame that you can look at, and so it's going to double your probability of winning. Up here, you've got these three levels here, 72. If this blue price line, which is the current price, if that were to drop down to 72, this would be a hell of a trade because you've got multiple time frames here supporting it. Does that make sense? I know I'm kind of going kind of fast here. I don't want to take up a ton of your time. But I want you to have an understanding of how we trade and what this would look like if you were using it. Does it make sense? Yes, there's normally some triangles on here as well. This is kind of a simplified version, just trying to show one thing at a time here. Yes, Roy was mentioning he saw some videos, and if you haven't been on our YouTube channel, we've got, I don't know, like 700 and some videos on YouTube of live trade examples, and just over the years. We've been doing this since 2010, posting videos, so yes, there is normally some little triangles on here that we use for some trend direction for certain types of strategies, yes. Yeah, so let's walk through it real quick so you can get a better understanding here. So on the 1 minute time frame, this is a 1 minute chart, you'll see all these levels, similar things. And if you look, you're going to see all those levels right here on the big figure 07, 18. So here's your 07 level, here's your 18 level, and your big figure level right here. Then you've got 92, 83, and 72, which all correlate here with the 1 minute. Does that make sense? And then now we're on to the 5 minute. So you've got the 15, 88, 72, 70, and 54. You got 54, the 70s, all those levels here. See what I mean? The 15-minute chart. And you can see even the price reacting off of these levels here. You've got the 15-minute chart, 64 and 07. So as your time frame starts to get bigger, you get less and less levels. And then you've got your 1 hour, and you can see we just hit one of those, this level right up here. And you've got your 1 hour, this 14 level, and then all the way back down here at 44, which is this level right here, which was the big resistance for this move. And then we've got your 240, and we've got that level coming up here, which is this 23 area. So I know if you're new to this, it may seem like a lot of different data points, but what you need to understand is once you come in and you look at, we have these strategies already pre-built. Just like that 5 minute strategy that we went through earlier, we have different strategies for looking at multiple time frames that are very simple, very easy to follow, A to Z, and you execute on multiple support and resistance levels. Does that make sense for everybody? Okay, cool. So here's what the matrix looks like sometimes with the arrows. But you can see this is a good example of when all your levels are lining up really, really well. This short position right up here was off of this 97, where you've got 3 time frames with resistance here, and then resistance up here, and you got resistance up here. So you got 3 areas right here where you're ready to take sell positions if this blue line hits it. Same thing for the buy side, you've got some buy areas down here. These arrows here, really you're only focused on the pink and the blue. Those give you your trend direction, but you can tell when they're all mixed up like this that the price has just been kind of choppy and range bound, and now it's starting to trend up, which you see on the 1 minute and the 5 minute. These haven't quite turned around yet, but I'm not going to get into a whole lot on what are called our price movement direction indicators, or PMDs. We have an entire module dedicated to teaching those trending. You've got trend entries. So on pullbacks, you've got trend reversal patterns that we look for. And I believe there's 3 strategies specifically with these little arrows here. What we're focusing on is our easiest, most simple strategies, which are support and resistance off of the dynamic Fibonacci. Okay. So anyways, that's what you have to look forward to, is this matrix and being able to combine multiple time frames and really get the best of both worlds and not just trading a 5-minute chart. Again, just another example, you can see the price hitting these levels, hit this level here, and this is an example of a short position. You know, they've clicked the sell button, and then it shows the position size, the price they were filled, 31.53. So they waited for this level right here, along with this other resistance. So it was a good area here, and then it shows your P&L, floating P&L is up here. So if it's green, that means you're positive. So plus 11 points so far in this trade on this short position. So you can see, you know, the more examples you see of this, it becomes more obvious and just really more simplified. I know a lot of you guys said that you were just kind of starting out, so it may seem a little confusing, but again, I can guarantee this is way easier than trying to master chart patterns and stuff like that. That's very subjective. This is pretty cut and dry. You've either got resistance levels or you don't. This is a couple of traders you'll see in the room. Some of the stuff they've said, only platform. He's added 51 to his account this year with a success rate of 75-78% a month, which is awesome. Dream of becoming a full-time trader is actually getting closer and never thought possible. So that's pretty cool. Thomas, he's been with us for a while. He came to us completely new, traded stocks and some other stuff, but we introduced him to currencies, and he's loving it. And then Martin, who a couple of trades that we shared on there, he's super active in our kind of our members-only Facebook group. This was something that he wrote on our Facebook page a while ago. And then Andy, who you will meet in the live trading room, he's been doing this for it's probably closer to 40 years. And he basically has came out and fully endorsed everything that we do here, is actually going to be a part of it as well. And he said in his 30 years of trading Forex for some of the world's largest banks, I can tell you this trading system is the best trading system available to retail traders. And he, coming from a retired chief dealer for Citibank of London, we're certainly proud of that type of endorsement and that level of endorsement from someone who has literally had every resource available to them on an institutional level. So we're super pumped on that. And so now I want to answer some of the questions that we're getting. And this is, how can they get involved? Can they use the software for free? Or what's the deal here, okay? So I want to touch on that, and today we're doing something on this webinar that we've never done before. It's kind of like a test to see if this is something that we want to do. FXPM has been known as really a high-end program. The cost barrier, which we've known is expensive, and we're okay with that, and we know, it's tough because we want to help as many people as we can, but at the same time, we want to keep our group small. We have a very personalized way of trading. I know almost every single one of our students that's been through the program on a personal level, and the same with Josh and Lucas and some of our other traders, and we really want to keep it that way. But at the same time, we do want to open this up a little bit and make it more accessible so we can help use some of those funds to continue developing the software and create really, an untouchable platform for everyone to use. So I'm going to tell you what we have on this webinar is by far the best program, the best deal that we've ever done. And like I mentioned, this is only a test. I don't think we're going to do this anymore, but I'll go ahead and go through what we do and what today's program is. First of all, we have the daily live training class. This is what it looks like. You've got your moderators here, you've got all your other students in here, and we keep this room pretty small. Really, it fluctuates around 40 to 50 traders because we typically only bring in 15 to 20 new traders or new students per month. That way we make sure that they are set to go with the strategy, and then we go to the next month and we can focus on the new students that come in, okay? This is what it looks like. There's a chat in here. There's a screen share where you're going to see the chief trader's computer and the trades he's doing and all that stuff. So you're going to see the trade strategies we're looking at. You're going to see them executed in real time, talked through them. You can kind of follow along if you want. You can hear all the analysis live. And then if you have questions, you can certainly ask all your questions in there. You'll get them answered right there in real time. And then, of course, that community aspect of learning with all of the other students that have been in your position before is huge. Sometimes, I've been doing this now for almost 8 years. So sometimes I talk about things and I overlook a lot of the really foundational steps. And so it's nice to hear perspectives from students that are starting out that are maybe 2 or 3 months into the program so they understand the basics and they can kind of segue some of those things that we're talking about in the room. So it's really cool. Everyone in there is awesome. We have a really good time too, playing music, having a good time, making money. It's super cool. Everyone will love that. So here are your two moderators, and essentially they both come on in the morning. Yeah, and I see some questions coming in. Yes, the session is the New York session for right now. That's 8 a.m. Eastern Time to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. For now, we may add the London session. We're talking about it, but I'm not guaranteeing anything right here on this webinar. But it's in the it's in the works. So right now it's the London New York overlap from 8 a.m. Eastern to 11 a.m. Eastern, and you have our FXST chief trader Armando Martinez. He's a developer of the FXPM software. He's got 15 plus years of trading experience. Is a commodity trading advisor, all that stuff, has managed funds, you name it. As far as the retail side of the business, he has done everything there is to do there. And then we also have Andy, who has traded at some of the world's largest banks. He has pioneered a lot of the stuff that you see today as far as trade rooms, multi-time frame software, dynamic Fibonacci, all stuff that he pioneered and really, helped bring to a retail market. And that was all developed at his years in Citibank. So he's actually in our room, calling trades, using the platform, coaching, and helping everyone learn this industry. So we've got two of the best moderators that you're ever going to find. They're both in the room at the same time, kind of chatting back and forth, talking about the trade setups. So that is who you're going to be learning from on a daily basis, every day in a real live market, taking trades, okay? So pretty straightforward there. You're in great hands. I owe all of my success with Forex and freedom of being able to work wherever I want to these two guys right here. Now, if you have a tough time making it into those sessions, we also have the curriculum, which is an online membership area where you can log in. You'll see all your modules and training. It's all in sequential order. Most of it is video training. There are a few downloads like the Excel file, the business plan downloads and all that stuff. You've got a few of those worksheets that you're going to download and get started with there. That's all in here. Let's see, this is where you access your live coaching, all that. It's kind of your one-stop shop for all your goodies. I mean, you're going to download the software from here, everything. So again, you'll have the curriculum. And let's talk about the specifics of today's package. Now, normally this package would be around $2,000. That comes with the software for a complete year. That's a 1-year license. The complete strategy curriculum, that's modules 1 through 4, which cover all of our strategies in great depth. There's multiple sections within modules, so I know it's only 1 through 4, but there's actually quite a bit of material there. Institutional broker access for both our U.S. customers and our international customers. The annual FXPM license is going to include the matrix. In the future, those will be 2 separate things. But if you want to get in right now, we're going to include all that in your annual license. The video training that we talked about, all of our trade recaps, and extra training that we don't put out on the front end in YouTube and stuff like that. It's all back end stuff. We do quite a bit of that, and you'll have access to all that. Our 52-week 1-year Forex business plan, that's the business plan that is going to help you, one, set up your projections, the plan that you're going to follow. It'll show you when to increase your position sizes based on your account size and your win-loss ratio, all that stuff. It automatically does all that. It also allows you to input your trades, and it calculates your win-loss ratio on your different strategies, the different times of day, the different currency pairs. It gives you a nice breakdown of all your analytics, which help us when we're on coaching calls and stuff. We can take a look at your results and say, hey, let's switch this up or do this different, or, it helps us kind of get a deeper look inside your trading and work through some problems if you're having a tough time. Or it helps you go from trading good and okay to totally kicking ass and doing a lot more when you're cutting out some of the negative stuff. So that's a pretty key element to this whole program, is the business plan. If you're on Facebook, you can join our members only Facebook group. It's pretty cool. It's really where you get to know all the guys, what they like to do, some of their interests. We've got traders all around the world. I've met several of them personally through this group here, when I'm traveling, and shoot one a message and, hey, whatever, you want to go out and grab some drinks, whatever. It's an awesome group to be a part of. That's one of the biggest benefits. You're not just going into some program where you're going to be here for a couple months and then leave. A lot of these guys are lifetime friends of mine, as well as with each other. So it's a pretty badass group to be a part of. And then for this program, we're doing a bonus 90 days in the live coaching room. Normally for this price, there was really no live daily coaching. That was all videos and stuff like that. But today only for this webinar, we're going to do 90 days, 3 months, however you want to look at it, of daily live coaching. That price is going to be $997. However, this is the part where this is a test. I don't know if we're going to continue to do this, but we're going to try it for today's webinar. If you want to get started, you have the option to break this down into 3 equal payments, no interest. It's just 3 payments of like $332.50. Your first payment's $332.50, I think, is the actual number. 30 days from now, you'll have another payment, and then the following 30 days, you'll have that. Really, the goal is by month 2, you've hopefully made all that back in it. Again, this all depends on where you're at with your trading, if you're brand new, and how much you really have to invest as well. I know a lot of people want to get into this with very little money and try to double and triple that money overnight. And although it has happened, and I've seen it happen a lot of times, it's not realistic, and at any point do I want to make it seem like you're going to come in and start making money like that right away. You're learning a skill, and sometimes that takes time. A good analogy is I could go and I could teach you how to play tennis in a few hours. I could show you all the different swings and positions and all that stuff, but you're not going to be any good at it for at least 3 to 6 months of practicing it and getting a feel for it. Trading is the exact same way. So we've tried to break this down to reduce the barrier for people to get started with us. We know we have one of the best programs out there available. And we're tired, quite frankly, of seeing people buy these $200 and $300 robots and essentially pissing their money away and not only losing that money, but blowing up their account. With us, your risk when you're trading is going to be very minimal. Our first objective is to make you understand that you need to protect your trading capital and then start to grow it very systematically. So that's what we're going to show you how to do. So again, if this is something that you want to do, I'm reiterating because this happens all the time. We'll do these one-time things, and I get an email like 2 days later, hey, I want to do I want to get the extra bonus and all that, and this ends today as far as the payment plan goes and this 90 days live trading room access. We've done this $997 deal. We do it all the time, but it does not include the live training, and there is no option for a payment plan. So if you want to get these two things, it's got to be done today. I'm sorry if this is the first time you're seeing us and you want to check us out. Do some homework real fast. Google us. Go on YouTube. You can look everywhere you want. We've been around for 8 or so years. You'll be hard pressed to find anything, if at all, negative on us. We have a great reputation, and I think it's because we've limited our enrollment so much that really we only work with people who are serious about the business, and we want to keep it that way, but we want to test this and see if we can get some more people, give some more access to this system, this strategy at a lower cost, and that's why we're going to test it. We'll see. If this turns out to be a headache, the prices will go back up, and we'll deal with just a small customer base, which has worked for us for so many years, and we really enjoy. So on that notion, let's go into Q&A, and I will try to answer all the questions here. We are recording all of the questions, so if I miss something, either myself, Josh, Lucas, one of us will reach out to you and answer your questions. So fire away, and let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and scroll back up. And okay, what brokers do you guys use? Okay, good question. We have multiple brokers depending on where you're located. So we have our U.S. brokers for U.S. customers, which we have special arrangements with for people using the FXPM software. You sign up through our sister website, FXPM Trader. Will give you the URLs and all that afterwards. But that just forwards you through to our partner broker that's giving us the best rates at that point. So for you, the best spreads, execution, all that. We're always arranging new deals with brokers, getting better and better and better deals. So we have options available there. For international clients, we have the software connected via Currenex, which is the leading liquidity provider when it comes to institutional services. So you don't get any better than that. So if you're international, that's who we're connected with there. Let's see. Are there live trades in the training room? Can we just follow them like a signal system? Okay. That's actually a good question. All the trades that we're taking in the live training room, most of which, unless he's doing like a training, showing like a different tactic, and he says, hey, guys, don't follow me on this. I'm doing this on a demo account. I'm just wanting to explain something. He does that from time to time as training, training events and whatnot. But most of the time, the trades are just, hey, here's the trade I'm looking at. Here's where I'm entering, and you can see what he's doing on the screen. Can you use it like a signal system? I suppose you can. It's not what we recommend. It's not what we're here to do. We hate the idea of just being a signal provider because you're not you're not going to be self-sustained. And that's not what we want. We're here to teach you how to do this as a business, teach you how to be your own trader, understand what's going on, and be able to execute it yourself. So, can you do it? Yeah. Do we recommend it? No. We would prefer you learn what we're teaching and follow along and use that as a reassurance to what you're doing. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Okay, you mentioned the software is for a year. Is this annual license? What's the deal? Okay, so the annual 1 year license, how that works is this essentially pays for your license. Once the year is up, all you need at that point is the institutional data. I think right now it's at like $49 a month. If it's bundled into a year, let me look right here. So yeah, you're looking at like 600 and some odd bucks to get another year of data after that. Yeah, exactly. So it's like a couple of trades. So yeah, it's a significantly reduced amount. Yeah. Good question. After the 90 days, yes, you can. If you want to continue in the room, you can always subscribe to it. We offer a bunch of different plans. You can subscribe monthly, quarterly. You can purchase a half a year, or you can purchase a whole year in advance. And of course, every time you buy more time, you get a bigger discount. So, yeah, there's all those different options available. Now, the thing with the room is, after the 30 days, you won't need us. You shouldn't need us. You should know what you're looking for. You'll have a great understanding of the market and what to do. Most people pay for the room and stay in the room because of that community aspect and being part of a group. And so, a lot of people do stay, yes, but it's not because they need to for the training. It is certainly easier because you can just listen to Armando and Andy call trades, and if you understand what's going on, you can take those trades, and it's pretty easy. So that's totally up to you. If you're on a tight budget, we do get some guys in here that are really trying to keep expenses low, which is fine. I get it. A lot of those guys will kind of gravitate towards the Facebook group and have that discussion going on in there as kind of what's going on in real time. And we're all actively engaged in all that as well. So you've got kind of those two options there. Let's see. Let me scroll through some more. Yes. Okay. So I know what you're talking about. Okay. So I don't want to mention any names here, but essentially the question is, if I buy this program, is there going to be a bunch more stuff on the back end that I'm going to need to buy to be successful, and I'm not going to mention the name, but like another company out there? And the answer is no. What you're going to get right now with the software and the strategies, you're going to get all of the same stuff that we've been teaching for 8+ years. It has not changed because it works. We have a strategy for every market condition. There's always something that's working during current market conditions, and we're not here to sell you on the next best thing. When you're involved in our program, you get what everyone else gets. You may get a different level of access because in the past we've sold, bigger programs. Like when I got enrolled, my enrollment was $5,500, but that was a year of coaching. That included some personal coaching, that included private mentorship, but it was all the same stuff. So if you get started with this program and you say, you know what, I love this stuff, I want to learn as much as possible on a personal level, and you want to bundle more time and more personalized coaching into it, we can work something out. But we're not here to sell you the next best thing once you get in here. And it's funny you ask that because we hear that all the time from that company. So yes, Let me go through. This is more of a strategy question. Yeah, I think I touched on it. The PMDs, those are in the modules. Can you, if you want to, by all means, yeah, you can go to the site, take a look around, do all that. But these bonuses, this 90 days in the live training room, and the payment plan, they're only available today. And I'm sorry if you come in a day later or 2 days later, I cannot honor those two things. Management was, you know, they didn't even really want to do this. It was more like, let's just test it, see how it works. Because here's the thing, we're a small team of traders. We have our technical support and all that stuff, but they're also working on the platform, building this tool to be as, kick-ass as it can possibly be. We don't want to be bogged down dealing with thousands of people trying to manage it because it takes away from our trading. A lot of us, our primary income is trading, so that's our first priority. And number two is we've got a really killer vibe going on in the room. Everyone's cool, and it's just an awesome place to be, and we don't want that to go away. That's why we don't want a ton of people in there. So again, this is a test. It's today only. That's I know about it. Yep. Okay. I think that's. I see a bunch of other questions. I think a lot of them I've already answered. Yeah. Okay. No, I'll explain that. So when you enroll, if you go to fxpmsoftware.com/start now, and I'll put a button here around this if you're full screen. I doubt you'll be able to see it. If you make it not full screen, you'll see a button. That button will take you to fxpmsoftware.com/start/now, and that's where your enrollment button will be. From there, you'll use a coupon code that says 3-pay plan. That will break that down into 3 payments, and all the orders that we see come through today using that coupon will get this bonus 90 days. Okay? Once that happens, that should automatically trigger your login credentials to the dashboard, and that's where you're going to log in, access all the videos. You're going to access the live training room through there. That's where you're going to find the information to download the software. That's like your one-stop shop. What I'll try to do is those who get started, either myself, Josh, Lucas, one of us will try to give you a call, walk you through everything, get you kind of orientated so you're up and running right away. So yeah, we're not gonna just cut you loose and leave you hanging. We'll be there to help you get started and get you walk through it. Yes. So again, yeah, this is $997, but it's broken down into 3 payments. Okay. All right. So we've got some guys that are pulling the trigger here. Josh, one of us will give you a call right after this. We'll show you how to do all that. Yeah. No. Yeah. Glad to have you on board. I think I've got most of the questions here. I'm going to go ahead and export them, make sure that we answered everyone individually. So guys, you've got today, if you want to take advantage of the additional 90 days, 3 months of live coaching, and the 3 payment option, go to fxpmsoftware.com/start now and use the coupon code that's on that page. You'll see it, it'll be active. And for today only, you can take advantage of all these bonuses and the special pricing plan. I hope to see you in there. I hope to see a lot of you guys come in and join us. It's pretty awesome. You're going to have a great time. You follow the plan, you follow everything, you'll make some money. It'll be, this is what we're all here to do. So anyways, I want to thank you for your time coming on to the webinar today. I know it's about an hour long. I appreciate it. Hopefully you've learned something, even if you're not able to join us this go around. I wish you well, and I hope you were able to learn something and take away from this. And to all of those guys that are getting started right now and joining the group, it's a lot of good times ahead. Glad to have you on board. And for right now, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off and get some of these guys started with their program. And I look forward to seeing you guys here in the future. All right? Have a great day, everyone.